Welcome back, Cannonites. August is here, so it's time to take a look back at July. Despite a slow start, the month ended on quite a high note, so let's not waste any time and dive in. We start off with In Case You Missed It. The channel saw a total of 7 videos this month, more or less, with a couple collaborations, I'm happy to say. First up was Between the Games, from CE to Halo 2, looking at the events between the first 2 Halo games. After that, I partnered with Reclaimer Gaming to bring y'all a 2-part what-if scenario about what might have happened had George survived his slipspace fate. Next up was the latest canon fodder with a rather exciting announcement and some amazing community highlights on 343's part. Following that, I again partnered with a fellow content creator, this time Covenant Canon, to bring y'all a 2-parter on the history of the Banished. After that, I covered the latest Inside Infinite, which went over what we could expect from the Halo Infinite flight, and then we got a better preview with a live stream from 343 themselves, which I co-streamed. After that, I presented the top 15 weapons I'd like to see added to Halo Infinite, and sadly that ended up closing out the month as I was unable to get into any multiplayer matches during the flight, so no streams on any of that. All videos otherwise can be found in the description box below. From there, we move to official news and releases. The month started out with a new Master Chief statue going up for pre-sale, with a special edition available through Best Buy. July 8th saw the latest community update recapping a lot of the events from the end of June, the recent, at the time, Halo Infinite news, plus some Halo tourneys and the usual list of playlist rotations for Halo 5. July 12th was a big day, seeing the release of Canon Fodder issue number 117, celebrating the Master Chief and featuring a ton of work from across the community. It also featured what might have been the most exciting bit of Halo news of all time, at least for me, a new Halo Encyclopedia project. Produced in studio by the franchise team themselves, this 500-page monstrosity is set to release on March 29th next year. The next day saw a new employee spotlight over on 343industries.com, focusing on Andrew Witz, lead multiplayer designer for Infinite. By the week of July 23rd, a Report Player button was finally added to MCC. This is a feature that is long overdue, and I'm so happy that players will finally be able to report bad actors with ease. On July 26th, the Halo support site where reports about issues in Halo games are made was given a fresh coat of paint, and on July 28th, we got a stream from 343 about the first Halo Infinite technical preview and its content. The following day, at least for the US, more like the 30th for most of the rest of the world, the technical preview went live and continued through the weekend. I wish I could tell you how much fun it was, but I can't. Also starting on the 28th was a new Halo Mega Construx community poll. Mega is currently asking for fans to vote on a figure for their fall 2022 hero lineup. The options for the poll are an Elite Flood combat form, a CQB Spartan, a Haunted Spartan, and the Halo Wars Brute Chieftain known only as Thrall Slayer. Voting runs through August 5th, and you can vote once every 24 hours. I'm voting for Thrall Slayer all the way, and if you want to vote too, I've left a link in the description box below. And as per usual, I've done the same with all the stories mentioned here. Now with that, we can move forward to community highlights. Starting things out are a couple awesome Spartan armor concepts by Bubblebot. One is an original armor called Jericho, the other is the artist's take on GRD from Halo Reach. Check out Bubblebot on Twitter. Next, we have another kick-ass custom armor, this one known as DURENDAL armor. Drawn by WillyBoy013, when I asked about the intent behind this armor, he sent me a whole epic backstory on its development and use as he envisioned it, and damn if that isn't just awesome. I love awesome art, but I absolutely adore awesome art with a story attached to it. Check out the creation and that backstory on Reddit. After that, we have a tease for a work in progress, a tribute to the Master Chief by Rohan Thomas. You can check out the teaser on YouTube, so head on over and subscribe if you want to see the final product when it's done. Next up, we have this awesome environmental piece by Krann on Twitter, a Pelican flying past some Forerunner pillars like those seen on Requiem. Damn if it isn't gorgeous. Check out Krann on Twitter. Following that is a damn cool piece featuring the Master Chief and Samus Aran in her new armor. Check out the artist, Kassidy J, I hope I didn't mispronounce your last name, on Twitter. Next is an amazing Warden Eternal cosplay from Sanghelios Customs. The original tweet is a video, so you can actually see some of this in motion, and it's damn cool. Check out Sanghelios Customs on Twitter. After that, we have a really cool piece from Emilio Martinez, a Woodwork Master Chief. It's hard to find more to say about it, it's just awesome. Check out the creator on Twitter. Next up, I have to give a congratulatory shout out to Ultimate Halo, which hit 100,000 subscribers at the start of the month. Congratulations, Ultimate Halo, it has been a long time coming. If you haven't checked them out before, head on over, give them a sub. Next up, we have this awesome piece from Spartanca Asta, contrasting the Chief and Cortana as they appear in Halo CE with their Halo Infinite counterparts. Check it out on Twitter. After that is a beautiful render of an abandoned Mark VI armor set created by Gray's Art. Check him out on Twitter. Next up is a cool recreation of the cover of Halo Ghosts of Onyx, though featuring the original characters of Fireteam Chimera. Check out the artist Paul on Twitter. Next, I'd like to shout out a cool new profile on Twitter, Halo O'Clock. Halo O'Clock is dedicated to creating original memes and skits around Halo. The creator, iPhotonI, has already made a few, and I found them all to be rather entertaining, so check out Halo O'Clock on Twitter. After that, we have this amazing Mark VII Spartan figure featuring a custom Watchdog coat of paint by artist Briana. Check her out on Twitter. And since we're already on the subject of figures, we next have Red Construx with some toy photography depicting a Spartan free-for-all. Check out Red Construx on Twitter. Moving from Mega Construx to LEGO, we next have a custom Pillar of Autumn built by DropCon37. Check out this amazing work on Reddit. Next up, we have a really cool painting by Martin, let's say, on Reddit. It reminds me a bit of Van Gogh in some ways, though obviously it has a distinct style. Regardless, it's a beautiful painting, so check it out on Twitter. Following that is a recreation of a scene from Halo The Fall of Reach, Samuel 034's sacrifice by the TheIshikawaRin. Check her out on Twitter. Next, though I'm sure the majority of you have probably heard of this if not seen it, is HiddenXperia's recent interview with the father of the Master Chief himself, Marcus Lehto. It's a great interview just like Hidden's one with Marty O'Donnell. Very insightful. Check it out on YouTube. And speaking of Marcus Lehto, if you don't follow him on Twitter, you absolutely should, especially as a Halo fan. He's been posting videos of old Halo builds and answering questions, along with working on a rebuild of the Mark V armor from Halo CE, and it's really fascinating so far, so check him out on Twitter. Next, we have another Chakas Spark piece, this time from Noah X Machina, in an homage to Hamlet. Check out Noah on Twitter. Following that is a cool video from The Domain looking at an upcoming Mega Construx line known as the Halo Universe series, which will feature figures from across the games and universe. For more details, check out The Domain on YouTube. After that is a funny little comic by Matthew on Twitter, featuring a comical misunderstanding between some humans and an Ungoi. Check it out. Next up is a cool sketch of one of the Sangheli armor variations from Halo CE, one that never appeared in future titles. Check it out, and the artist Spartan Mandy on Twitter. Next, we have a damn cool depiction of a member of the Silent Shadow by Nick on Twitter. Be sure to check it out. Following that is a teaser for an upcoming Halo live-action production, Long Way Home. An ODST finds himself alone on a beach on a Halo ring. How will he get home? Check out the trailer on YouTube and subscribe to the channel if you're eager to find out like me. And our penultimate shout out goes to Shyway on YouTube. He's been doing a lot of great Halo Infinite analysis ahead of the flight, but his most recent, at least at the time of this recording, was a look at ADS and scoping in Halo. As he does, Shyway dives deep into the history of this mechanic, how it's changed with Halo 5, and how it might act in Halo Infinite. Check it out on YouTube and consider subscribing, especially because I feel like he's going to do a follow-up after the flight. Naturally, we close out with an overlook of the July Community Spotlight over on Halo Waypoint. As it released just after E3, it's of course filled with fan art of the content seen during that time, notably the Yoroi armor and of course the weapon. If you haven't yet, check it out on Halo Waypoint and see the amazing breadth of content of all types this community produces. And of course, remember, if you want something to appear in future monthly recap videos, let me know in the comments below. Generally, so long as it's safe for work, I'm happy to feature it, Halo or otherwise. But that wraps up this month's recap, or rather last month's depending on your perspective. Either way, everything discussed here is linked in the description box below. If anything can't fit in there, I'll put it in a pinned comment below that. Be sure to check everything out though. Stick around for the Patreon shoutout, and until next time, this has been Halo Canon. First, I'd like to give a big thank you to our Harspice patrons. First there's Hope, then we have Freight, SS Deco-chan, Discombobulated Sycophant, Justin Montgomery, Ada Frame, and Man in the Dark. Thank you all for your amazing support of the channel. Next, I'd like to thank our theoretical patrons. If you'd like to see your name here or get a direct shout out, check out patreon.com/halocanon. You can simply support the channel or get additional benefits such as behind the scenes materials, including raw audio for upcoming videos, or even shoutouts like this. All patrons now get early access to certain videos as well, and more benefits are to come. However, your continued viewership is more than enough for me. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and maybe even subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. If you really enjoy my stuff, turn on that notification bell so you can be among the first to see new videos when they release. But for all my fellow Canonites, keep on being awesome.